This is Gamer Weekly, bringing you the latest of what the video game scene has to offer. On this very special 50th episode of Gamer Weekly, I have Sean and Waz of Yacht Club Games, and we're going to be talking about Shovel Knight. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Gamer Weekly. With me today is Sean and Nick from Yacht Club Games, and just real quick, this is the 50th episode of Gamer Weekly, and for anybody out there who has listened to every single episode of the show, you are awesome, and this is probably going to be the most nervous I've ever been on the show. So, Nick and Sean, thank you so much for coming onto the show.
You're welcome. Congratulations on 50 episodes. That's awesome.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So, just in case you're wondering, my name is Waz. That's me, and then that's Sean.
I'm Sean. That's Sean's voice.
Great.
We're not going to switch it midway.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
right. We won't switch voices. Yeah. What do you do over at the Yacht Club, Waz?
Oh, sorry. So I do animation and game art and all kinds of art things and also other stuff. But for the most part, that's my main role.
Right.
What about you, Sean?
I do like game design and direction, and I also do lots of other things because at the Yacht Club we all do a billion different things all the time.
Yeah.
You were telling me before we started recording that you were interested in egg salad. So do you also make egg salad for the Yacht Club Game crew?
I had egg salad yesterday.
Did
actually.
you?
Yeah, it was delicious.
We had an interview recently where we talked about eggs a lot, and that was that's why we mentioned that. That was just kind of a silly thing.
You heard it here first, guys. The next Shovel Knight DLC is going to be centered around eggs. So.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we'll have a Dizzy cameo.
So speaking of Shovel Knight, you guys just released the next DLC for it for free, which I feel like is unheard of for any game company to release something like DLC that is as long as the actual game and still have like some depth to it as well. Why did you guys want to release your DLC with just giving it to anybody who bought the game instead of just charging?
Well, I mean, as a couple things. I mean, we are charging for it if you want to just buy it standalone. So a lot of people have played Shovel Knight on different platforms. They just kind of want to get the new thing on a different platform, or they wanted to get it early in the Switch. And so you can get the standalone Spectre of Torment for $10 on Switch.
Right. So it's like
there's some Switch shilling for you.
So we are selling it separately, sort of.
Yeah.
But if you already own Shovel Knight, then you'll get Spectre Knight for free, and that's actually a legacy thing because we promised a Spectre Knight campaign with our original Kickstarter. Same thing with Plague Knight and King Knight to come.
Yeah. When we had 15,000 people back in the game, we made a lot of promises to them, and now we're
a lot of real dumb promises.
A lot of real big giant dumb promises.
Yeah.
And now we're just following through.
But I mean, everything has been going really well, and we Spectre Knight didn't have to be as large of a game as we ended up making it, but kind of like with most of the stuff that we've done, we just kind of have kept adding to it, and it's more like we need to get ahead of like, oh geez, how are we actually going to sell this than what are we going to do to make it fun or make it good. So yeah, still working on Shovel Knight.
Yeah, and there's more to come. There's King Knight and
battle mode.
Yeah, but then we're done.
Shovel Knight's
Knight's
done. Shovel Knight 1 is done.
Throw it in the trash
forever.
Is that a hint, wink towards Shovel Knight 2?
I mean,
yes and no.
We've always said we want to make a million Shovel Knight games.
Yeah.
We want to do like a 3D Shovel Knight 64. We'd love to make another 2D side-scrolling Shovel Knight game. I don't know. We see Shovel Knight as being a huge brand that, from when it was created, it's like we wanted it to be like Mario, where there's like Mario socks and Mario blankets and books and shampoo and toys and cereal and. Yeah, anytime a list starts with like that, I just want to do cereal and fruit snacks and everything edible. Yeah. So that's our we want to do everything for Shovel Knight. We want it to be like a big giant tentpole brand IP thing, the same way that Mario is to Nintendo. but we also want to make lots of other cool games besides Shovel Knight.
Nintendo has more than Mario. Nintendo has like Zelda and Metroid and others since then. So
yeah, so I think that's our next. That's like our next thing to figure out is like what's next after Shovel Knight. Yeah. Also.
So if you guys do decide to do a cereal, is it going to be one with marshmallows or without marshmallows?
Oh my god, there'd be so many marshmallows.
Is it just all marshmallows?
I don't like the freeze-dried marshmallows, but I can like so much. I'd probably say okay to having them in the cereal.
If I used to pick out the bad parts of Lucky Charms and just have marshmallow cereal.
Ugh, God, we shouldn't see that. If we were brothers, that would have been fine because I'd want the other half.
Yeah, totally.
That freeze dried, it's like it's I don't know. To me, it's like fingernails on a chalkboard.
I love the way it slides across my teeth. It's like
but when it's dry and it's like like I get shivers like thinking about it. It's literally like biting into a piece of chalk.
Yeah, that's the best.
You can actually buy a bag of those marshmallows on Amazon.
Yeah, we saw that. You could buy them standalone.
What?
Yeah. I saw them like there was like a picture like at the supermarket where there was a big tub and they're all filled with, and it was just filled with the marshmallows, but it was like someone picked them out. Like it was a plastic tub like that you get at like Sprouts or whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
That's gross.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that. But now that I actually think about a bowl full of it, but I mean, as a kid, I would do that definitely.
Yeah. I really like Reese's Puffs. Are those I really like.
So it's going to be a peanut butter chocolate Shovel Knight.
Oh, really good.
I don't know. It should probably be
themed, right?
There should be it should be like dirt, like chocolate dirt, probably with with diamonds and gems and stuff inside. And then you could get like a shovel spoon, or you like send off for one.
Yeah, you buy 10 boxes of our cereal and we'll send you a spoon.
Yeah, a shovel spoon. That would be so rad.
I would definitely buy that. I'm just saying. So.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what we keep telling our merchandising agent, and he's like, no, sorry, that's a year 3 conversation, right? That's what he said. That's what he said in 2013, and then like 3 years later, we're like, hey, or like it's 2017, we're like, hey, are we ready? Shovel Knight, we sold like more than 1 million copies.
Year 5.
Yeah, he said, that's more like a year 5 conversation.
So we're never gonna sell cereal.
That's a BS. That's goalpost moving. Is what that is.
You're gonna have to start another Kickstarter just for this. Be like, let's prove this guy wrong, and everyone's gonna be like, yeah. I don't know that guy, but I want to prove him wrong. Fuck that guy.
That guy.
So, how did Shovel Knight happen? Like, what was the inspiration for you guys to do a game like Shovel Knight? And was there at one point, like, more advanced Shovel Knight, and then you guys were like, all right, I just want to strip all of this down?
Well, kind of, actually. There was, we were kind of doing stuff on the side together as a group, and we started with a different game, and it was an iOS title, and it was more closer to 16-bit graphics, where it was like more traditional pixel stuff that you see out there, high resolution, lots of animation frames, and we decided that was a process that was, well, for one, the gameplay wasn't totally working out, and two, the animation and the overhead of the art was like really, really heavy, and we were already having to like outsource it. So Shovel Knight was sort of an idea to scale back. And we actually just dug up some emails a long time ago of us like talking about the idea and like for the first time in earnest.
Right.
And like where we could take it.
Yeah, I mean, basically, Shovel Knight is a game that really played to our strengths. Before we were Yacht Club Games, we all worked at another developer, and we were doing Shovel Knight stuff, or not Shovel Knight stuff, but we were considering splitting off and having our own company. So yeah, Shovel Knight was envisioned as a game that it was something that a small team could put together. It was something that was like right in our wheelhouse because we had experience with 2D platformers and character-based stuff. And then also we're all of that age where we grew up playing NES games, and it's very much like part of our gamer DNA, right? Yeah. Like we were so excited to put together something that's based around one really strong mechanic, like a Metroid or like a Contra or like a Zelda or a Mega Man. And Shovel Knight just like really fit the bill. We actually came up with the mechanics for Shovel Knight, like what we wanted to do with it before the character or the setting or anything like that. Or even the shovel, right? It was like we want to be able to dig through blocks. We want to be able to flip guys over. We want to be able
and like marry combat and platforming together.
Right, with like
kind of concept.
Yeah, with like real light kind of puzzly stuff and like kind of whimsy and fun. And so as we were talking about all these motions and things that we wanted to do, we arrived at a shovel as being the implement that could like fulfill the most of those actions. And then everything else just all kind of got built up around that. So all the theming of the game and like the 8 nights and it being like a vaguely like fantasy medieval thing. And I mean, obviously there are a lot of elements from other games and a lot of things that we just kind of like iterated on and worked into the formula. But I don't know, I guess that's kind of how it all got started from the get-go.
Yeah. And right away, like Shovel Knight was envisioned pretty much as a Kickstarter, to think of like how to fund it and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was like the logistics of how it came to be. We originally had planned to have it out, by February, the Kickstarter up by February, and that got delayed a bunch.
Yeah, just like
as you can imagine.
Everything takes us a really long time to do.
Yeah, but then it was out and it was good that it was out later because that was during PAX when people could play it, and then there's like in the middle of the campaign.
This is all ancient history, by the way. We're talking about 2013.
Yeah.
So this is like PAX East 2013 is when we ran the Kickstarter and all of that. So yeah, we've been going for 4 years on Shovel Knight now.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Are you guys sick of Shovel Knight yet, or are you just gonna keep going on?
It's it always reminds me. There's an interview with Miyamoto, and it was after Super Mario World, and it's like, "Are you guys going to make another Mario game?" And he said, "Well, usually after we finish a Mario game, everyone vows that we're never ever going to do another one." But then, about a few months later, after everyone gets some time off, you start to have more ideas, and things start to percolate, and you start to get excited, and the whole cycle kind of begins again.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So we just finished Spectre Knight, so I think right now we're just like, ugh, like. I just want to not think about Shovel Knight for 5 minutes, but yeah, in about 5 minutes we're gonna have to start thinking about it again.
It's so basically like Shovel Knight is just gonna go through like the bit motions, I guess. So like you're at like the 8-bit and then you go to the 16-bit where you're like, let's try to make a Super Mario World Shovel Knight. And give him a mount, which is a bunch of marshmallows, and the only people that will get it are anybody that listened to this. And then,
we're always thinking about new places to take Shovel Knight, and like the 16-bit stuff is kind of not as appealing for the same reason that it wasn't appealing in the beginning, which is just that the amount of work that is required to make the look is like probably not worth the cool gameplay and aesthetic benefits that you get from implementing it in the first place, at least for us.
Yeah, we had a lot of experience working in games like that at our previous company, which is Way Forward, and they did a lot of like licensed titles and
high animation counts.
Yeah, lots of animation counts, lots of pixels on the screen, lots of like dense visuals, and it's fun, but it requires like a lot of people, more than we're willing to pour into it. And I feel like, we could just we have Shovel Knight established. We could just take that same amount of people and put them on, an 8-bit Shovel Knight and get like more game content as a result.
Yeah, like the simplicity of Shovel Knight is really appealing to us. Like we wouldn't want to. I think adding too much detail to it would maybe be overdoing it. And also the other cool part about 8-bit art is that it's very quick to iterate on. So we could make bosses and characters that have like a lot of cool animation frames, and if the gameplay didn't exactly work out, then we could tweak it pretty easily and get it right back into the game, right? Like you can envision and design and implement an enemy, and it could be like in the game at the end of the day, and like in the beginning of the day is when you came up with it. And that's like a pretty incredible power. I think that turnaround is part of what makes Shovel Knight a cool game, is that we were able to change it enough that we kept honing it until it was fun.
Yeah, I can think of a few examples of even Spectre of Torment where we wouldn't have done some things with the bosses if we had to do a full 16-bit animations for them. We just added a few poses. It was like we approached each one of those things by a couple of them took a little bit longer, but the general idea was like how much art you can do in a day, basically, based on top of what we already have, will help you, dictate the scope of what the boss is. And that like that time period is not a lot for a 16-bit frame, but if you have 8-bit frames, it's a lot. You can do a lot. So, yeah.
So, I feel like Shovel Knight has also kind of got people nostalgic about platformers again.
Good.
Yeah. And like I feel like with Shovel Knight, it's like people are seeing how awesome platformers were back in the day, because like I feel like anything that was like a really good platformer then, anything that has a franchise still, hasn't really lived up to like what it used to be, or it's kind of just become its own like different world, kind of like Zelda, where you have like the top down look and everything, and I don't know where I'm going with this.
Well, no, that you bring up a really
That's
good
actually,
point, right? Like Breath of the Wild is like very different than like those top-down Zeldas. Do you think that there's still room in the game industry for like for another top-down Zelda kind of game? Like, do you think that would be cool?
Yeah. So like, do you think that that you guys are the cause of people getting interested in games like Ukulele and stuff, where you guys are actually starred in the game? And like, do you feel like you guys help kind of catalyst like that kind of movement for gaming?
I mean, I think Banjo-Kazooie probably did a lot more for ukulele than Shovel Knight did, right?
Yeah, I think I do like that. Every now and then we'll get an email or whatever from somebody, and they'll be saying like, I love Shovel Knight, and it made me think, man, I love Mega Man too, and so they've played Mega Man for the first time as a result of playing Shovel Knight.
Yeah, or it's like my kid loved Shovel Knight, so I took out the NES and showed him the ropes with all this old stuff.
Yeah, now he can't get over Mario 3.
Right.
It's like, oh, that's perfect story.
Super cool. Yeah, we love that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Shovel Knight's star power really helped ukulele too much.
No, and it's hard to say that we sparked the renaissance of that.
No, I mean, come on, Mega Man 9 and 10 came out years before Shovel Knight did, and that's very like having a retro modern game. I think that like, I think like Mega Man 9 and 10, I think were really kind of like one of the first examples of that, of like trying to make it really authentic.
Yeah, and there's lots of really great pixel games out there too that I think still hold their own. I like being a part of that group. I like feeling like we're contributing to the zeitgeist of what the games are right now.
And like meeting all these cool people that have worked on cool games. Mm-hmm. Just being in that is really neat. But I think it would be very presumptuous of us to take any credit for any sort of retro renaissance, or
I think more credit maybe goes to like Super Meat Boy as like the bringing back the platformer and the popular view.
Well, I feel like that game and Braid. They came right at the right time, right? Like there were no download platforms that were really successful, and then Xbox Live Arcade came along, and Braid and Super Meat Boy was like the 1-2 punch. Mm-hmm. And it was like, hey, look, you can buy games and they're cheaper. They're like under $20, or I don't know how much Braid was, but there was somewhere around there, right? Yeah. And they're like these great games. They're a somewhat smaller experience than if you're playing, Red Dead Redemption or whatever. Yeah. And and like that, Mega Man, like 9 and 10, like those Castle Crashers, Explosion Man, like all that stuff on Xbox Live Arcade. I think that was kind of like the precursor to like Shovel Knight. Like it made download games a more reasonable thing, and then like the Steam store, digital distribution, Kickstarter. It's like everything all kind of like lined up in the exact perfect way to make it like possible.
Yeah, and like we were also on Kickstarter before it was like a bad thing to put on a website. It used to be that websites would just put, like Kotaku or Destructo, whatever, would advertise a bunch of Kickstarters because it's exciting.
Because there were like no Kickstarters.
Yeah, and then it seemed like right after hours was when everybody kind of drew a line in the sand and said, we're not doing Kickstarters anymore. And so like we kind of made it in by the skin of our teeth.
Right under the gun. Same thing with like Steam Greenlight. Like we got a Steam Greenlight really easily. And then I feel like only a few months later, there was like a lot of like struggle with it. Yeah. I mean, we got like really lucky. We were right at the right time, I think.
Yeah.
I would say if anything that you guys, I would say that you guys are on the same level as like the developers of Super Meat Boy and Braid. Like you guys have carried the torch for platformer games. Like you guys are helping it keep it like alive, and also like what you guys have done might not be like technically like brand new in people's eyes, but I would say that Shovel Knight is like almost like a greatest hits of platformers. Like you show people like this is how a platformer works. Like this is like to a T, like platformer at its best.
Oh, cool. I hope that as a result of people playing our games that they go explore others, because there's a lot of really great platformers out there and even new ones that are coming out. So I like to think that we can be a introduction to the world of really cool platforming games, because for my money that's sort of like the best kind of video game. You know, when I was growing up, that was like what defined what a game could be, was a platformer.
Like if I didn't work on Shovel Knight, I think I would be like very excited for a new Shovel Knight to come out. You know, it's like, oh yeah, Spectre and Torment, this is like going to be so cool. Yeah, like that was me as a kid, was like for like waiting for Mega Man to come out and like calling the store every day, even though I knew the day it was supposed to come out, and like drawing new Robot Masters and like all that stuff. So it's like if we could inspire even like a little bit of that same kind of thing, like to see other people's versions of what their nights are, or what adventures they're having like in our little fictional universe. Mm-hmm. That stuff is like really, that's always like really exciting. Like we get a lot of support emails of people talking about their experience with the game, and I think that's like really rewarding for us.
So how did you guys come across to getting your own amiibo?
That was a big, long process. I think it started because we had a bunch of contacts already, and how we made like we were already doing a bunch of merchandise stuff, and so we had it all set up, right? Like we weren't manufacturing a bunch of toys. No. But we had like deals going with people, and like we were already in conversations with the kind of people that could help us make this happen.
Right. Like we wanted to do it, right? Like how I was just saying with like Shovel Knight sheets and Shovel Knight shampoo. Like so since we were already doing that, then the amiibo was like a natural like test run, or a natural extension for all that stuff.
Yeah, we just saw the opportunity and you know, pursued it, and we had the avenue that allowed us to do that in multiple cases. And
I mean, Nintendo I think wanted, like, they were excited for other companies to put amiibo functionality in their games, mm-hmm. and they were also excited for a third party to make an amiibo, right? Like we didn't know that we were the only third party amiibo for a long time. Yeah, I was really surprised. I thought that Monster Hunter amiibo would just get announced a month before ours, and I thought there'd be an amiibo for all the indie games and mm-hmm. for everything. So yeah, I'd say we were kind of surprised that we were like the only third party amiibo.
But it kind of makes sense when you think about it, because it's not common for companies to kind of pursue that, and we were doing that just because we wanted to see those toys and wanted to like get Shovel Knight as big as we could. But again, you know, all the stars aligned in our favor, and we were able to put that together. And it took a long time, though. That said, it was not easy.
Yeah, we were negotiating the amiibo thing for like a year.
They were like writing the contracts for the first time in English, so that we could help, you know, and
right,
so we could actually like sign the agreement.
Yeah, because that was Nintendo's first third party amiibo also. So there was like a lot of rules that we kind of all had to figure out as a group, and you know, work closely with them, and doing things like shipping a physical product out to like the whole world is like very not like we're usually digital content people, so doing real physical stuff was very different. But yeah, I mean, it was a ton of work, but it all came out, and you know, a little bit later than it should have been, but but everything all got out to stores, and it all we just sold out of the last ones.
Yeah.
So there should be no more, you know, we don't have to buy back 1 million Shovel Knights that all need to go in a landfill in Arizona somewhere. Amiibo successful. You know, that was cool.
How many amiibo do you have?
Personally?
You mean like at the office, or like or like my amiibo collection at home?
Yeah.
Is there both?
Well, I mean, as far as like this the stock of Shovel Knight amiibos. We have a few here, but
we don't hold them here.
yeah, we don't hold them here. We have companies that do distribution and stuff for us. So
yeah, God forbid we have them all. Like,
I don't want to have.
We couldn't fit them in the. They would not fit in the office.
I don't even know like where they would go.
Yeah. So that's really not. It's not like we buy 100,000 amiibos and then we're like shipping them to people. It's all done. It's all done through our partners. So we probably only have. How many Shovel Knight amiibos do you think are in this building?
50.
50? Yeah, I think that's about right.
And then at home, I have like 50 amiibo.
Do you?
I have a lot.
I
have all the Smash ones in Shovel Knight.
I probably have like 10 amiibo.
I had at one point 58.
Oh man.
Yeah. No, that was a really dumb thing that I did.
Gotcha.
Like my girlfriend and I talk about it pretty much at least once a week. Like, yeah, this is dumb, but it's not as dumb as when you bought Amiibo. And I'm like, shut up, don't bring it up. And like the ones that I wanted too, like I didn't even end up getting. So like, well, because like I wanted to get all the Kirby ones, and I only got 2 of them, which was Kirby and King Dedede. And I've never seen Meta Knight in person, so I'm just assuming that one doesn't actually exist.
I know it does. And it looks really good. It's like the best.
Don't tell me that. I traded in most of mine because this is corny, but I traded in most of my Amiibo because my girlfriend ended up getting a 3DS, and I was like, man, it'd be really cool if we had some games to play with each other, but man, I'm broke. Like, I don't know what to, like, this sucks. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to trade in all my Amiibo and see what I can do. And there was like a buy 2, get 1 sale going on. So I ended up with like 15 games for all the Amiibo, or most of the Amiibo that I traded in. So there are 3 of them that I won't trade in. It's Kirby, Lucina, and Wii Fit Trainer. And I kept Wii Fit Trainer because my girlfriend does yoga, and I was like, it kind of reminds me of her. So also corny. So, but I've never seen the like I saw the Shovel Knight one once, and I was like, I'm gonna get that. Just right now I'm trading in all of my current ones, so I don't know how I feel about getting another one right now. So I'll come and get that later. And then I never saw it ever again. So
where do you live? Why is your stock so
low? I live in. I don't know if I can actually say. I live near.
Oh, you don't have to. Sorry.
I live in.
I just meant. So there's like certain places have really
no big deal.
low stock. Yeah, it's no big deal.
I live near the St. Louis area, and even if I said a city, they'd be like, they're not gonna find exactly where I'm at.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty good. When I sold all my Skylanders, I got like 50 cents.
That was hilarious. I went with them. we went to GameStop. And you just had like a big
I had like a big Ziploc bag full. I'm like, here, take all these. And but they wouldn't even take the portal of power. I just ended up throwing it in the garbage. It was just like literally worth nothing.
Yeah, like this one's like 13 cents. This one's 12 cents.
Right. It's like, don't even bother printing the receipt paper out. I don't care.
The time spent was more expensive. And then we went to lunch and spent like $8 on it.
Right. Yeah. I couldn't even get Hawaiian barbecue for all those Skylanders. I could get like 12 grains of rice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird because like the Toys to Life thing, everyone was like, "Oh, this is gonna be huge," and then
it was.
It was for the people that made them.
and for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of disappeared. Like, that was a bad idea.
That's what happens with a fad, right? It's the same thing as like Pogs.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Furbies and what's the thing you have? No, I always want to say Moblin.
Boglins weren't like that though.
Boglins weren't a fad?
They were never huge. No. Like Beanie Babies, like that kind of stuff.
Or the Tamagotchi.
Yeah. Amiibo, Tamagotchi, yeah.
Amiibo has ran its course. Don't tell Nintendo that. They just released some Breath of the Wild ones, but...
I mean, the thing is, it's not like it's going to crash. Like, I don't think Amiibo is going to crash super hard like Pogs, right? Like, because Amiibo is still cool. It has
inherent value.
Yeah, right. It's like you get nice statues of great characters, and they all have, like, at least decent functionality, usually over a big variety of games. So it's like... Yeah. I don't know. The Amiibo seems way more worth it to me. But for just to have that crazy Amiibo fervor is like, I don't think we'll probably be seeing that again, at least for a while.
Like I would go onto the Amiibo subreddit and just try and like hunt and like analyze everything. I put so much time and effort into finding Amiibo that I feel like if I would have put that time into something,
like you could have learned how to play the guitar.
Like
if you don't already know how to play the guitar,
I kind of know. See, here's the
you
thing.
You could have got even better. You could have really worked on your finger picking.
I could have been Dragon Force. So
yes.
I don't know if that's what people want to strive to become, but I could have became the Dragon Force.
Yeah. I think I'd rather be Dragon Force than owner of 50 Amiibo.
Yeah.
Overall, it's like you could have Dragon Force level guitar skills, or you could have these 50 Amiibo.
It's such a false comparison.
Maybe the
each one will take you 10,000 hours to find, like, to get it, right?
I guess if that was true, then yeah.
So like
anyway,
maybe the guitarist of Dragon Force is listening to this now and he's like, "Fools, I have both."
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, they're actually coming around here too, and my brother was like super into Guitar Hero, speaking of fads. And so he was like, I have to go. This is what my life has been leading up to. Like, he put so much time and effort into the Dragon Force song that anytime I hear that song, all I hear is that clicking of that guitar.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I'm gonna take my Guitar Hero controller and have them sign it, and that'll be like my final thing, and I can just put the guitar to rest.
Man, it must suck to be Dragon Force.
Oh, yeah.
Like that because that has to be what they're the most well known for.
No, absolutely.
It's like, oh my God, Through the Fire and Flames on Hard, like you actually you're like the guy that did it. And I'm sure that guy that spent like thousands and thousands of hours learning really great like tapping skills.
Yeah.
Is just like here you go, I'll sign your guitar for you, kid. I don't know. Maybe he's not so cynical about it. Maybe he's excited about it.
I feel like if anything, like Dragon Force wasn't really that well known of a band, and then they just like it's kind of like Smash Mouth and Shrek. They were like put it with this weird guitar thing. Yeah, I doubt anyone's gonna listen to our song. Like, we're just some weird prog metal band. And then everyone's like, have you listened to this weird prog metal band about dragons? Dragon Force? Oh boy. Yeah. So anybody's listening to this at this point, they're like, I thought this was gonna be about Shovel Knight. Like, no.
This is about, isn't it?
We did talk about Shovel Knight.
We were talking about the Amiibo. We're still talking about Shovel Knight.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Anyway, yeah, Dragon Force is cool.
So basically, what you're saying is Shovel Knight 2, the soundtrack is gonna be by Dragon Force.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. Really... So you know what? I'd like to see IGN try to pull that one out of their butt. I say that, and I'm like, I'm so high and mighty to IGN, and then I'm like, yo, IGN, if you need anybody. hit me up. Just ignore anything that just happened there. You know, we're cool, right? Yeah, absolutely. So, so
IGN's cool.
I mean,
they're all good.
I mean, I don't ever want to say anything bad about anybody. So I'll just put it at that. They do what they do well, and I respect them for doing that. I would do things differently, but then again, I'm not in their position. So in their position, they are doing what they can.
That's a very measured response.
Was that a very PR thing to say about them?
It was very measured.
Okay, cool. Fantastic. Yeah. So, if you guys were to... for Shovel Knight 2, say you guys were working on it. Say that it was like, there's ideas on the table. And if you are doing a 3D-esque Shovel Knight... would it be more like a Breath of the Wild thing, or would it be something like Super Mario, where like there's individual worlds, or is it just going to be straight up open world, and you tell me nothing, and I'm just wandering around the world, wondering if I'm doing the thing correctly?
Well, I don't know. What do you want it to be? What would you want a 3D Shovel Knight game to be? If it could be anything.
I want it to be a survival, early access zombie game where it has tons of... I'm just kidding. I think throwing early access in there. Not that there's anything wrong with the game being in early access.
No,
I've had
we totally get
Right.
you.
Yeah.
yeah, it's,
Very.
I totally goofed you. But yeah, no, like I think for Shovel Knight with the difficulty that the game has, because unless I'm just terrible at it, I feel like Shovel Knight is a really hard game, and I'm proud of myself anytime. Yeah, I'm proud of myself anytime that I beat any level. I'm like, yeah, I did it. I'm so glad that they put checkpoints at the beginning of the boss, so I don't have to like go back and do all of that all over again. You know, the Castlevania thing, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think. Well, go ahead, finish.
Oh, yeah. So, to answer your question, what I would want for a Shovel Knight 3DS game, I think that you guys would work very well with a Dark Souls Breath of the Wild kind of vibe because the game is hard and there's a lot of skill base to it. I think that it would work. So,
Yeah, I think that.
So are you saying? Sorry. So you're saying it should be all? You think it should be all open, or like are Dark Souls and Breath of the Wild the same? Because Dark Souls is linear with branching paths, right?
well, so yeah, like I'm thinking like something that does have the branching paths where you can kind of go at it your own way in a way, sort of thing. I guess more
Yeah.
like towards Breath of the Wild, and maybe that's because I was playing Breath of the Wild before I came here, and so maybe I got that on the brain. But I feel like it would totally work.
Do you think that if there was like, okay, let's say it's Shovel Knight 64 and there's going to be like 8 new knights, do you think you should be able to go to the knights in any order? Or do you think that you should be able to walk to the flying machine from the beginning and climb up and just go fight Propeller Knight from there?
This is tough because both of them sound awesome. It's like I didn't realize that this whole interview was just gonna be like, all right, you are the focus group, so you have the entire reins over the Shovel Knight sequel. So
no,
anyone listening, they're like, don't mess this up, man. Don't mess this up. You know which the right one. I think that it would be really cool to have something where you could just go and fight the final boss. You might if you're really good at the game, it's like you're really good. You did it. You beat it. I mean, you beat it. Like, why did you do that? But you beat it. Like, cool.
Yeah, I think one of the advantages well, okay, I would want the levels to be more designed and more structured, and regardless of how the world structure is, I think Breath of the Wild sort of lacks the like area that is designed to be approached a certain way. It's like very much just like a bunch of like paths smashed together. Because you can just like circumvent a lot of the things. Like I wouldn't want Shovel Knight to be able to just like jump 4 stories in the air and skip a large amount of content.
Yeah, I think Shovel Knight is built around doing the gameplay that we made for you.
Right.
And I think Zelda is about like making your own gameplay yourself, I guess.
Yeah.
And like trying to have fun in like that sandbox world.
Yeah, it's like one of the more sandbox games that I've played.
It's very I think it's like if Breath of the Wild is very like emergent, then Shovel Knight is very designed. And yeah, I think it would be really interesting to see how those two like interplay off of one another. I know that from Breath of the Wild, I've definitely missed like design.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like I wish the game was a little bit more designed.
I agree.
So
I just wish I could. I just wish I could beat Ganon. Like I finally made it to him, and then I realized that I was just like ill-equipped. And like, damn it.
Yeah. Well, you can warp away and then warp back anytime, and the only penalty is a loading screen.
You can't just warp back straight to him though. You have to. Don't you have to climb back to him or?
I don't know.
I haven't gotten that far yet.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be like, yeah, I don't know, because I beat him because you suck.
No, not at all.
Which
No, I don't know. I like the idea of like a Mario 64 also, of like there's 15 levels and you just have to like find things in all the levels, or it's like set up for you. Like that could be cool.
Yeah, there's like little courses inside each level where it's like a very densely packed area with just like multiple ideas, but there's like really clear objectives and playthroughs that happen as a result of it.
Yeah, like I do love that in Mario 64 it's like your objective is like get to the top of here,
Yeah.
And however you can approach that using your abilities, like you can get up there, right? Like on the bomb battlefield, you could like go up the spiral, you could like shoot yourself out of the cannon, you could like wall jump in some tricky spots that the developers might not even have planned on. Yeah, I don't know. I think that would be definitely really cool. We're all huge Mario 64 fans here, so I think a 3D Shovel Knight Mario 64 style game would be really neat.
And then you guys go into Shovel Galaxy, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like the Mario Galaxy also like takes the course design and like takes it to the nth degree, right? Like Mario Galaxy is like a very designed game. Like it's like that game doesn't say get to the top. It just says like go through this course of like a bunch of things in a row, and you just kind of need to execute on them.
Yeah, they even break the stage up into little like mini planets or whatever they're called, so you can't like circumvent anything.
Right. Yeah, it's really interesting. Like there's so many different ways to approach a 3D game like that.
I really liked Breath of the Wild. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I haven't really been into Zelda, honestly. Like I've played every Zelda game, but I've never beaten any of them. And Breath of the Wild is like the first one that I've played where I'm like, I might actually beat this. And then I played against Ganon, and then I'm like, maybe I won't.
What's your second favorite Zelda?
Wind Waker.
Wind Waker? Okay. So that's sort of got the, like, Breath of the Wild and Wind Waker sort of feel the same to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
I feel like I know this sounds weird, but I feel like Breath of the Wild gives you a little bit more like hey, you go over here, where Wind Waker was like, everything's a riddle. Will you find it? Who knows? Like, I had to look up a strategy guide for most of Wind Waker, and Breath of the Wild, I had to do it for, like, this and that, because I never felt like... I think the thing I like the most about Breath of the Wild is that I didn't feel like I was playing the game wrong, and I feel like with every other Zelda game I've played, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
I mean, I still don't know what I'm doing with Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, but you're like having fun while you're doing it, right?
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like Skyrim, where like you go over that giant mountain that you climbed over, even though there's a clear path that goes around the mountain. But and you're like, whoa, what is this? I've never seen this before. This is so cool. Even though it's weird, it looks empty, but it has life to it, which I've never experienced before in a game either. Like I would always end up finding something, be like, hey, look at that. I haven't seen that before. Like seeing a dragon was weird. I'm like, what the fuck? Where was this at?
Yeah, that's I think the dragons flying around the world and seeing the big bosses from far away, I think are like probably the stronger points of the Breath of the Wild for me. Like having a little bit of context for like what those things are in the world, but I also feel like I wish I knew what I was doing most of the time. I feel like when I play that game, I feel really aimless every time I pick it up, and then an hour has passed, and I've cooked 10 things, and then killed a lizard, and then I don't know what I'm doing in Breath of the Wild.
Right. Yeah.
And then it's raining, and then I get and then there's my fourth load screen.
Yeah.
I turn it off.
It always starts raining, and I just stop playing because I can't climb anymore, and I'll just go play Overwatch.
Where it's like gameplay.
Which I've been having a great time playing Overwatch.
Oh yeah.
It's like so good. Yeah.
Shovel Knight is now being added to Overwatch.
Oh, I would love that.
So you guys have gotten added to like Ukulele, and there was another game too that I saw on the wiki page, but I forgot what it's called. It's by the guys that did Castlevania or something like that. I can't remember what the game was called. Oh
yeah, we're gonna be in Bloodstained.
And we were in Azure Striker Gunvolt.
Yep.
Yay! I haven't played that.
Yeah.
But...
yeah. No, that game's cool. Yeah, Shovel Knight's been in like a lot of stuff. There's been like, I don't know. We pretty much just say yes. I'd say Shovel Knight's been in like how many games? At least like probably like a dozen.
At least, yeah.
He was in like Road Redemption.
Yeah, basically like we approach that and it's never like a money deal. It's almost like the opposite is the thing that's dictated, where the person will come up to us and they're just like really excited to put Shovel Knight in the game because they're a fan or whatever. And if it makes sense for who Shovel Knight is, or it makes us laugh hard enough, we'll agree to it.
Yeah, it's been really fun, just like to see everyone's take on Shovel Knight, like in other games. We just love to see our own stuff everywhere.
I really like the Red Redemption one, where he's like on a motorcycle and being shot at with machine guns, but like it doesn't work, and then he kicks the guy into a truck.
Yeah.
It's like so over the
pretty
top and
good.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It just makes me laugh.
So, what game would you like to see Shovel Knight added in? Because there was some like
Oh.
April Fool's stuff going on where like Shovel Knight's gonna be in Smash Brothers.
Oh yeah, no, we didn't do that. We would, I mean, I would love to have Shovel Knight in Smash Brothers, but I feel like if we joked about that in April Fool's fashion, that's like too sacred.
You can't joke about something that people actually want in April Fools, because then they'll get mad at you.
Yeah.
That's a real. Dumb
I
move.
get mad at companies all the time for doing
Yeah.
that. But yeah, I would love to see Shovel Knight in Smash. That's like the top of my list, I think.
I feel like if Cloud and Bayonetta and Snake
totally.
and Ryu could be in Smash Brothers, I feel like Shovel Knight. I feel like Shovel Knight could do it. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
he
like-
might not be as sexy as Bayonetta, or
You don't know. You can have an alt costume. You
Wait.
have like the hair armor costume.
Is it like one of those things like when you beat Metroid and you put in the password and like he takes off his helmet and he's like this like super buff, just super sexy man, and you're like, yeah, look at him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised,
There's
honestly.
a bunch of DeviantArt links I should send you.
I feel like since you just told me it was from DeviantArt, that I'm kind of like, all right, I'm already skeptical on the whole thing.
We're excited.
What has been like the weirdest fan art that you've seen of Shovel Knight?
Oh my god.
Can't talk about it.
Yeah, sure I can. There was one that usually comes to mind when I think about. A couple times people will do like what the knights look like without their helmets on, and some of those are really funny. There's one of Spectre Knight where he's not like underneath his mask. This is before Spectre Torment came out. Underneath his mask, he's actually like a falcon, and he looks all super cool, and like that was like weird and had never occurred to me that he would be an animal, but like that's really an interesting idea. I don't know, like we it's almost canonical that, I mean, maybe it's not actually, but like the fish head version of Shovel Knight is like a major thing that we've done. So I don't know. I like seeing like fan art that explores like other people's ideas of what the characters are.
And then the rule 34 of it, you're like, oh god, no.
Oh yeah, that gets pretty deep.
You're like, oh, well, I guess I mean I'm happy that they enjoy the game. That's something.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, that's super weird. It's weird for me because I just don't like. I don't know. It's like I feel like I had a really strong hand in creating this character, and then people are just like doing, you know, whatever they want with it. I don't know. I appreciate the fandom for sure.
Thanks for the rule 34, guys. Excellent work. Stop sending the links. So, I don't know what else I think we're good. I think this is it. So, guys, I'm glad that we're leaving off with that. So, everybody out there, if you have not played Shovel Knight yet, I think you're probably like the only person at this point. It is available for just about every single thing imaginable that plays games, except for your phone. Is there going to be a port for that?
Probably not. Like the thing with the Shovel Knight is that we have to be able to play it with a controller, and I mean, no phone, no like, you know, largely distributed phone has a controller, so it's hard for us to justify that. But you know, we're working on releasing right now Spectre of Torment on all the other platforms. It was early on Switch, and now it's coming out for everything else, and it's out on Steam as well if you wanted to play it. But it'll be out on your platform of choice very soon.
Really soon.
Yeah. But as far as like other games, you know, we have all kinds of ideas for what we can do with other platforms.
Well, my platform of choice is the Atari Jaguar. Am I going to see
Okay.
it?
Well, you might be disappointed.
Oh, man, it just sits there. What am I supposed to do with this thing?
Sure does.
So, if you guys haven't bought Shovel Knight yet, go buy it. It's an amazing game. I have bought it twice now. So, you know, you should buy it for every system if you have it. So,
Yeah. Well, and if you get Shovel Knight Treasure Trove, then that's like everything, right?
Yeah.
So it's like that's the big takeaway, I guess, is like there's Spectre Knight, which is like the standalone, but if you get Treasure Trove, then you'll get everything, including what we're planning in the future. So that would be good.
And if you already own Shovel Knight, you already have Treasure Trove, which was a really
you already have Treasure Trove.
That was a nice bonus to see. I was like, oh man, I guess I got to go buy the DLC. And then I saw, I'm like, these guys are all right, you know? These are some cool dudes. So
cool. Well, yeah. I mean, I hope you and everyone else enjoy the game. We've been really fortunate that the game has been successful enough that we can continue to work on it, and it continues to sell, and so we can keep making more Shovel Knight. So that's like pretty amazing. That's exactly all we've ever tried for. So yeah, please enjoy it, and all the
Thanks for supporting us.
Yeah, really much appreciation, and we will continue to try and make the absolute best stuff we can always.
And Sean, Waz, I feel like we've bonded, so thank you so much for coming onto the show, my small itty bitty show here, and having you guys on here. It's been awesome, and I mean, the fact you guys even responded back to my email was enough. I was like, I'm gonna frame that.
Well, yeah, thanks for having us. That was fun. Here, I'll give you a hug right now. Ready?
That was really nice.
I hope you heard that.
It felt good,
Yeah.
you know. If I appreciate that. So
This one's for all the listeners.
I love that it's just in my ears too. It's like,
I'm really happy that we could help make your 50th show the coolest one.
Oh yeah.
Me too. Like I was like, man, I was tweeting like my Twitter page for like this show has like 20 followers, and I'm like, guys, you're not gonna believe who I'm gonna have on. And it's like, there's nobody following me. No one's asking these questions. So
little do you know, we're just like two random people.
Oh yeah.
It's like we're like, yeah. It's like,
What game are we talking
shovel
about
what? Yeah.
Is that the one with the square character and the meat?
like I got the email at work, and I looked at my coworker. I'm like, you're not gonna believe who just emailed me. She's like, who? The guys that made Shovel Knight. I don't know.
Right.
You
Yeah.
need to get her a copy of Shovel Knight.
That's about the reaction I would anticipate,
Yeah.
right? Huh?
Like
What?
now, and then I messaged my brother though, and I was like, dude, I got the guys that made Shovel Knight. Like, I've heard of that. I'm like, okay, I can deal with that. That's cool.
That's
Yeah.
Good.
Good
That's
starting
good.
point. You should get him a copy of Shovel
warmer.
Knight.
Getting warmer. Yeah.
Yeah. Was this all was a ploy to get me to buy copies of the game for everybody
That's all
else?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. That's the only reason we made it so good is
people would give us all their money?
Yeah, so we could sneakily get everyone to buy it.
Well, this has been great. This has been a real interesting episode. This has actually been the longest episode I've ever done. So,
Right.
I mean,
But it went by the fastest.
that is true. So if you guys have stuck around for the full 50 minutes of this episode, thank you. And I hate to be the guy that asks you to clickety-clack the like button, but if you could like the show and follow, that'd be awesome. And it like SoundCloud will notify you when new episodes come up. Same with YouTube as well. So you kind of should do it. Also,
Yeah, do it.
I need more people to subscribe to the YouTube channel so that I can actually have like a link to the show instead of like garbage at like the end of it. Like, it's hard to find the show, so it's like I'm on like the third page if you look up Gamer Weekly. Like,
Oh yeah.
we need
All right,
more
well,
people.
Let's tweet it out. Let's get that visibility.
Let's go. Let's do this. Let's get those
do
Facebook
it.
ads. Let's
Yeah.
not. I'm never doing that ever again. I made that mistake. Like, oh yeah, this is great. It's like, oh, 80 likes. Like 4 people have clicked it. What if
Oh, bummer.
it's like, oh, cool. Why did I do this?
$500 down the drain.
Yeah.
It was $30, and they gave me a
Yeah,
coupon
no,
for
I'm
it.
sure
That was the only reason I did it. So,
It's like those there.
so thank you guys so much for listening. I don't know what else to say here. Like the show, reblog it, tell people about it, tell your grandma, listen to it 1,000 times if you want to. That's cool with me. That's cool with them. And when I tweet it out, retweet it. That's it. That's all I ask for. Just a little bit.
That's it. Only all those things.
Only all of those things to make a
Just be
checklist of it.
social
And
with
if so, thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys once again. Yes, thank you for being on the show. It's been awesome. And go buy Shovel Knight because seriously, your game collection is incomplete without it. And I don't see why you wouldn't buy it at this point. So go buy it now. Goodbye.
Bye.